What's up, everyone? This is Bill with BLR Tuning. Today's watch is the Invicta Akula. Really tight little watch. You pull this bar back and then it reveals a second watch inside there. You can see there. Really cool watch. Anyways, today I got a little video for you guys. So we're out here with Monster. This is our 2292 Kawasaki Z900. So we are going to be removing the ECU and flashing the ECU. The ECU on this bike is just underneath, so we need to take this screw and this screw out on this side, and these ones up here will be removing the gas tank, or see if we can get to it by propping it up. The ECU on this bike is right up here under the tank. I'd like to take time just to talk about our sponsor of this video, Magic Mind. Magic Mind's got everything in it that your body needs and craves. Take this right next to your cup of coffee. You can go ahead over to magicmind.co/BLRTuning and use discount code BLR20 at checkout and get 20% off your order. Go check these guys out, Magic Mind. Magic Mind will help you stay focused, give you a clear mind, and help you get all those projects done that you've got to do, or all those bikes that you got to work on. So go check it out, link in the description. Before you go out on a rip, give yourself a Magic Mind, do a little shake. Like one of these before you ride, and stay focused all day long. Okay, so here at BLR Tuning, we are constantly trying to better ourselves and better the customer's options. We have always done aftermarket fuel controllers, things like Bazaz, DynoJet, Ficon. There's a number of fuel controllers out there that we have always offered on our website, as well as offered tuning via email or bringing the bike to us in person. I'm proud to announce that we will now offer ECU flash tuning. So we have hooked up with the folks out of Australia with Woolwich Racing. And we will now be able to do ECU flash tuning on Kawasaki, Honda, and Yamaha. Okay, those are the three brands, the three major brands we're going to start out with. Eventually, we will add BMW, Ducati, as well as Suzuki. But we're just going to start out with those three brands. And they're very popular in this area that we're in. And we know we've had lots of questions asking for ECU flash tuning in the past. And we've always had to send customers somewhere else. And we don't want to have to do that. So this 22 Kawasaki Z900, we are going to be flashing the ECU on it. It already has a power commander and an ignition module on it. So what we're going to do with this bike specifically is just do a de-restriction tune. So basically, we're going to remove the top speed limit cap. We're going to raise the rev limit and change the way the throttle bodies sit when you go wide open throttle. We're going to make it so that way it can actually go wide open throttle. You can get a lot more out of this machine by just doing a de-restriction tune. And since we already have power commander and it's all been done with auto tune on the power commander and the ignition module, we're just going to leave that stuff alone. So we're not going to mess with fuel changes and all that stuff on this bike. Okay, so you will see on our website, you'll have the option to send in your ECU. And then you'll also have the option to bring us the bike. If you're here local, we're in Vancouver, Washington. So we're right across from Oregon. And you'll have the option to get a de-restricted tune, which means we're just going to de-restrict everything and make the bike as powerful as we can by doing all the de-restrictions. And then you'll have the option to grab a custom tune where we make fuel corrections, ignition corrections, those types of things. Okay, so just remember, you will need to remove your ECU. So you'll need to look up how to remove your ECU. If you don't know, give us a call. We'll try and help you walk through it. We'll be putting out as many videos as we can showing where ECUs are located on different machines. On the 2020 to 2022 Z900, we know for sure that the ECU is right underneath here. So this is what we're focused on right now. But you got bikes like most Ninja models where it's underneath the battery tray. You have the CBR where it is right underneath that big gas tank cover. So it's not that hard to remove the ECU on most machines, okay? And then you'll just be sending it in to us, and we will put the tune on it, and then we will get it sent back to you. Turnaround time is usually within 48 hours of us receiving it. Usually we get it done the same day and get it out the door by the next day at the latest. Contact information is below. You'll see all the contact information to reach out to me if you have any questions. And then you should see a link to our website where you can read all about the ECU flash tuning and what all bikes are supported. Again, for now, it's going to be Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Honda. Okay, so let's get this ECU out and let's get it plugged into the computer. Okay, so you guys can see here, these 10mm bolts hold this little cross bracket right here. And you remove those, one on each side. This lifts out of the way. We'll be removing these 10mm bolts. Okay, then you'll need to come up here, remove these 2 bolts that hold down the gas tank. On this bike, we did have our Z900 steering stabilizer kit that we carry on our website. So we just simply pulled the 2 bolts and then we lift it up and set it out of the way. So we don't have to remove the whole assembly or anything like that. So you can see we just kind of removed the plastics on both sides. Get the bolts out. We're now ready to lift our gas tank and expose where that ECU is. Okay guys, so you can see what I was saying. We got the bolts out. We don't have to take the tank all the way off. We just need to prop it up. And this is the ECU right here. If we look over here, we can see that it is a Denso ECU. So we just need to lift it up. It comes up off of here and we will pull it out of its sleeve. Key is not in the ignition. That is important. Don't leave the key in the ignition. Don't leave the key on. Okay. So we'll just unplug the ECU. And then that's, of course, what we would be sending in. We would put the flash tune on it and then send it back to you. Okay, guys, so when you pull this ECU, it comes out of this little rubber sleeve that it's sitting in. You don't even really need to unplug this guy up top. And on this style of plug, so I'll show you guys, very easy. There's a tab right here in the middle. If you just push down lightly on that, this will fold back and it'll pull itself off. You can see there. And if you want to throw some dielectric grease on there, you can. This one already has some on it. Same with this plug here. Push down on this little tab right there. Push this back. And now we have our ECU. This is what we're going to be sending in to BLR Tuning, so we can put a custom tune on it. Okay guys, so we have our harness all plugged in here. This is our bench harness. And we have it plugged into our ECU that we removed from the Z900. And then you can see here in our software, we can do all kinds of stuff. We can disable the stock O2 sensor. We can disable the deceleration fuel cutoff. And we can disable the AIS paravalve, the evap system, and then we can also remove these codes that will pop up. So you can see right here, check the box to disable codes. There is tons of stuff that we can do in here. Of course, we can go in and we can adjust our fuel maps. This is the stock factory fuel map. So we'll make adjustments here as needed. And of course, we can do our ignition tables and everything else. So these are just a few of the things that we offer when you send your ECU in for flash tuning. So again, there'll be a link in the description below. Go check out our website. Read all about the ECU flash tuning and the different prices. You'll see a list of bikes that we can do. If you don't see your bike on the list, reach out to us. You'll see an email and a phone number. Feel free to give us a call. You'll also see an address where you can mail your ECU into. So I'll link that all below. Now that we have our ECU back from BLR Tuning, you'll see there will be a decal on the ECU that ensures you that it has been flash tuned by BLR Tuning. And that will also ensure that if someone else down the road takes the bike apart, they will see this decal and know that the bike has already been flash tuned. If you don't like it, the stickers are easy to peel off, okay? Now all we got to do, leave our key out of the ignition, reinstall our ECU, put our bike back together 100%, and then turn the key, start the bike. If this has been a complete flash, like a tune, where we're doing fuel and ignition adjustments, we will be turning off the O2 sensor, so that means you can disconnect the factory O2 sensor. If this just is a de-restriction tune, then you can leave the O2 sensor plugged in. So we will be specifying all of that. You will have a sheet with your ECU when it gets back to you that will say everything that has been done, and it will say whether or not to disconnect the O2 sensor. Basically, when we disconnect an O2 sensor, it's because we have disabled it in the actual tune file, and we have actually turned that sensor off. So that means it's not going to throw a check engine code or anything because it's already turned off. You will need to unplug it, and you can remove it from the bike, or just and put a plug in the O2 bung on the exhaust, or you can unplug it and just leave it unplugged. Most bikes, you can follow the O2 sensor. Some bikes have 2 O2 sensors. Like on this bike, it has 1. You could follow it up and just unplug it and leave that plug dangling there if you'd like. No big deal. We're not going to be using it. Okay? Anyways, my name is Bill with BLR Tuning. I hope you guys have a great day, ride safe, and stay tuned. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.